Welcome everyone to the webinar. So today's topic about how to differentiate yourself on social media post-COVID. I do have some statistics to share with you as well. And feel free to ask your questions in the Zoom chat. Okay, do have the Zoom chat open. I will be asking you quite a lot of questions today, and I'm hoping that we can keep this interactive. Welcome to the webinar once again. We have a poll to ask you which social media platform you are interested in exploring for your financial advisory business. Do help us out with the poll. There are 33 who have logged in so far. Thank you for being on time and early. A quick introduction of myself. I am Charmaine. I've been doing digital marketing training for the last, I think, since 2015, 8 years. Yeah, but I've been helping clients since 2010. And a lot of my clients, or my more recent clients, are towards the education and financial institutions and the IHLs as well, Institute for Higher Learning. So I do a bit of business and marketing mentorships at the entrepreneurship clubs, or they call it the innovation centers at SUTD, NUS, and Temasek Poly. So that's a bit of my background. I do a lot of digital marketing training at Institute for Adult Learning and Singapore Business Federation. Falco Academy is a new collaboration we just started a few months ago. So happy to share more with you as we move along the workshop today. Some pictures to share with you. So some of my training and mentorship pictures taken last few years, and a bit of training overseas as well, Indonesia, Philippines, Mauritius, clients in Hong Kong and France. And I have a new project coming up, March 2024, with SBF as well. This is my topic today. But the key objectives is to help you understand how you can stand out from the crowd, how you can attract clients and build trust. Okay, how you can consider differentiating yourself online. So these are my two key objectives with the 5-point webinar that I have. If you are already online, if you're already on social media, whether it's Instagram or LinkedIn, and you would like to volunteer your social media account for us to take a look at together, please share them with me in the Zoom chat. Jingyi will look out for your social media URLs, and we will do a quick audit. What an audit does is I share with you about 3 to 5 things you can improve on. At the end of this webinar today, as an additional resource to you, I will be sharing with you how you can improve. I already have these video resources on my YouTube channel, so I will share that with you towards the end as well. So feel free to volunteer your social media account in the Zoom chat, all right? Happy to share my 2 cents on how you can improve, whether it's Instagram or LinkedIn. If you are on TikTok or other platforms, you can volunteer it. I might do it after the webinar and share it with you guys after the webinar. So before we officially start the webinar, this is my first question for you. Please have your Zoom chats open for those who just logged in. We're going to keep this webinar very interactive. I'm going to ask you a ton of questions, and I hope you can help me out with it to keep this webinar more conversational. Okay, so how will you describe your customers today? Anyone? Put it in the chat. Let me know. How would you describe your customers today if you were to have to pick like 2-3 words to describe them? They are informative, digital savvy, smart. I like that you say that your customers are very smart. Digital savvy and informative, very, very interesting. I think I have these points here. Let's take a look. More informed than ever before, right? So they have all this, they know where to check the sources, whether it's actual news or fake news, right? Number 2, they seek deeper connections with brands. So today, you self-employed, your financial advisory business, you are also a business. So they are seeking, your customers are seeking a deeper connection with companies, with brands that they work with. They are busy, yes, I agree, Norman. They are also on multiple platforms despite their busyness. They are everywhere, right? So sometimes we are not sure which platform should we be focusing on to capture their attention and to show up a little bit more regularly, right, to our customers. Last but not least is they are super active. So they are on social media all the time. I have some statistics to share with you today. This is from a very recent CMO survey. So the 2023 CMO survey will probably be published at the end of 2023, end of this year. But when they did this CMO survey and published it last year, they asked customers, they asked the chief marketing officers, right, to rank what is the priority of their customers today. Okay, so the priority is four key things here: trusting relationships, excellent service, superior, meaning they're looking for good quality products. And something popped up which was quite interesting in the September 2022 survey was low price. So they were a bit more price sensitive. Inflation has happened with the many things that's happening around the world. So I would say that these are four things that customers are looking at. I mean, we have exited kind of like COVID with endemic and everything, but we are still battling with price points. So customers are a little bit more sensitive. Three things I want to highlight on this slide is when they ask the CMOs, the chief marketing officers, right, how COVID has changed, is that they realize that a lot of businesses are on an increased number of channels, putting out information, showing up on these channels. So 65% out of 273 that were interviewed said they have increased the number of channels that they use. So maybe previously they were only on Facebook and Instagram, but now they have added something else, say LinkedIn or YouTube, right? Another interesting statistic was that 50% said that they are returning to face-to-face. How many of you are only doing face-to-face today, meeting your customers? How many of you are doing face-to-face only? Or maybe some of you are doing a hybrid. You are still meeting your customers online and face-to-face. You can say hybrid. You can type that in the chat. 90% face-to-face. Okay. Anyone doing hybrid? How do we prepare ourselves for the next disruption? Right? It might not be COVID, it might be something else. So how are we going to prepare ourselves? Are we going to show up consistently to have digital contents work for us? I'll explain a little bit more. 41.4% said that they are using social media channels to sell their products and services. How many of you are starting because of COVID or even pre-COVID, you're already using social media channels? Okay, so this is something that has changed. COVID has changed the landscape. Businesses are starting to show up more. And not only that they are showing up more, they are showing up on more channels. And their customers are open to not only the physical face-to-face meetings and channels, they are also open to a hybrid model, meeting online, having conversations online, and buying online. So these are three important stats that I think I wanted to share with everyone. And the survey also asked them about their overall budgets, okay, overall company budget. So it increased, the overall budget. Imagine if the company was spending 100K, they end up spending 138K. So there was an increase in the overall marketing budget. And I want to share with you a basic funnel, marketing funnel, we call it, for you to consider. Whenever we advertise or we market ourselves, right, we need to understand that there is a basic three tier that a customer will go through. Okay, a lot of research will say that you need 7 touch points with a customer, but of course, sometimes with referrals, the touch points are lesser. Okay, but ideally, the first kind of a tier is what we call the awareness stage. Okay, meaning that how can they get to know about who you are, know about the product and the services that you provide. The second is consideration stage, meaning that they start to like you, they start to trust you, okay, based on something that you are sharing with them. And last but not least is how can they decide to buy from you. That's the 3 marketing funnel that I hope you can bear in mind. I will elaborate on it with one of my slides later or on the details for you to think about. So the next question is, what will make customers choose you? Now that we understand the COVID landscape, we have to understand that we have to work on our digital branding, our marketing strategies to kind of, I would say, defend ourselves against the next disruption that's going to happen. Okay, so maybe the first point is whether you are always looking for customers or customers coming to you. We call this push or pull, push versus pull marketing. How many of you are very familiar with this concept or this term? When we do a pull marketing, it's a marathon. I would say it's a long-term strategy. Push marketing means that you advertise, you tell people about it, people get to know about it, and then, they are aware, you move them to consideration, you move them to decision. Pull marketing is more towards this term called inbound marketing. You use content, different marketing strategies to attract people. We call them attraction marketing or inbound marketing. Okay, so what is the difference between push and pull marketing? Push can be TV, radio, print. Anyone doing print? Anyone doing email blasts, roadshows? I think there are lesser people doing roadshows today and telemarketing, right? What are some forms of push marketing that you are still doing today? It helps you to raise awareness, it helps you to build your brand. But the cons is that it's a very wide audience. It's also not targeted. And typically, some of these are a little bit more expensive. You can't really track your performance. However, for pull marketing, say for example you are doing search engine marketing or search engine optimization, you are giving away free contents, for example ebooks, webinar, these are more targeted. So imagine if you have a content specifically for parents with young children, right, to encourage them to save for their education, to save for their own retirement, right? These are a little bit more targeted. Your audiences, you know who your customers are, you're creating content for them. Typically, these contents provide value. We don't ask for anything upfront, but we give it to them freely, and we help them out with our knowledge. Okay, the cons is that it requires ongoing content creation. So that is the con. And the benefits of pull marketing or attraction marketing is you move customers from buying from you to buying into you, meaning that every time they think that someone needs financial advisory product, something that they need to consider, they will think about you and they will recommend you. Okay, so buying from you to buying into you, there is a difference. Buying from you means that they are looking at price, they're comparing price, they're looking at convenience, they're looking at quick, maybe they're looking at service, the quality of your service, right? The range of products that you have, right? So things like that. But buying into you, they buy into working with you, the differentiator. They share your beliefs, share your values, and they want to work with you. So this is not only for financial advisory industry, it's across, right? If I'm a marketer, I can also do attraction marketing where people would prefer to work with me, whether it is maybe as an agency or as a consultant or a training provider, a trainer. Right. So you want to think about marketing and you want to shift the mindsets of marketing from buying from you to buying into you. How has advertising evolved? I will briefly explain this from the 1800s. Okay, so 1800s, we have black and white advertising. Okay, so if you are familiar, you've watched movies before, there were black and white advertising on newspaper. Then shortly after, there was colored printing in 1920s. But of course, because it was expensive, not many of them were printing full color print. They were probably only injecting one color. Okay, so a lot of like brands like Converse, they probably were doing red and black. So two color printing, but it's considered colored. What happened in 1960s? Just shortly after photography, black and white photography came about, colored photography came about in 1960s. And when colored photography came about, right, they not only could capture a picture, a moment, they could actually bring out the emotions of the model, say modeling for the brand, whether it's a whiskey brand or a shoe brand, suit, right, men's suit, dresses, things like that. Then 40 years later, what happened? In year 2000, marketing and advertising has changed. Google had launched this thing called the Google AdWords. And at that point of time, no one else actually had this ability to allow us to advertise based on intent. So it means that today, if you go online and you search for financial saving products, that is an intent. Right, you are a customer, you have an intent. If I come online, Google, and I search cheap flights to Japan, cheap flights to Korea, I have an intent to look for flights. So you could advertise and bid on keywords. So that was the difference in year 2000. After that, 12 years later, about 2012, there was something called retargeting. Anyone familiar with retargeting advertising? I'll briefly explain what retargeting is, okay? So retargeting needs a form of data. On social media, how do you collect data? You could collect data based on engagements, whether they liked, they commented on your ad, your advertisement, or maybe they clicked on your advertisement. Okay, the minimum data point right now that Meta, Facebook, Instagram requires is about 1,000 interactions. Right. But what I like to do is I like to create a video, typically 45 to 60 seconds, to collect data. So if I have a video that is very interesting and people are watching, 45 seconds, 60 seconds of the entire video, right? I could retarget this audience who have watched my video. So that's one strategy that I always do with my clients' project and my own projects, okay? So I have a video, I gather data and I a second advertisement to be served to this group of people who have watched my video. Depending on your budget, some clients may or may not be able to collect data, but usually if they can, if their budget allows, I would recommend that they invest in creating a video, whether it's a 2D explainer video or themselves speaking about something very interesting to gather the data point of people's interest who have watched, say, 75% of the video or even 100% of the video. My next question for you is, what is your mindset towards marketing? Because this is very important. I have conducted training for the last, I think, 7, 8 years, right? And many people always come to my workshop saying that marketing doesn't work. There is no ROI. Is there ROAS to marketing, return on advertising spend? Yes, no? Maybe. Because if you start right and you equip yourself with the right tools, you equip yourself for success, marketing yourself, branding yourself online, on social media. Okay, so if you feel that social media and digital marketing does not work for you, let me know in the comments, okay? I have more examples for you later as well. And how many of you view website development as an expense? I share with you a mindset that I have with website. My website is my 24/7 salesperson, meaning that anyone across the globe at any point of time, even when I'm sleeping and they are looking for a certain type of information or product or service, my website can do the marketing and sales for me. But a lot of times when I look at a website, there's insufficient information. There is a huge gap to explaining who they are, what they do, who they serve as customers, the products and services that they have, how it has helped their customers out. These are some things where if we have a change in our mindsets, we can equip ourselves for success in the long term. Because if you are looking at yourself in this industry for long, you will be willing to invest in yourself and in the digital assets that you can own that can do the marketing, the sales and marketing for you. So that is my mindset towards websites. My website is my 24/7 salesperson. It's not an expense to me. It's doing sales and marketing for me 24/7 throughout the year, 365 days, 366 days of the year. Do you all see yourself doing what you are doing now as a financial advisor for the next 3 to 5 years? You should start looking, because 3 to 5 years is a very good time to invest in your digital brand. And typically the success comes after 2 to 3 years, when you consistently show up and you enjoy showing up. Okay, so thank you so much for sharing. Yes, thank you. A 30-minute video typically takes me about 6 hours when I first started out, right, to plan and to record it. Sometimes I need to record it 2 times, and the second version is the version that I use. For a 30-minute video, it takes me 2 hours to edit maybe. So typically the entire duration that I use is about 6 hours for 30-minute content. But the mindset that I have is not how much time I use to create this content and publish it on YouTube. My mindset is that if 100 people watch this 30-minute video, I would have saved the 3,000 minutes explaining this idea or this concept. And if I look at the time that I've saved, and this is 100 people only, most of my videos, especially my webinar videos, are an hour long, and they have helped hundreds of people. So a lot of times, all this digital asset that you create is going to help build your brand, because imagine you and someone else, you have digital assets. You have been posting, say, once a week on Instagram or on LinkedIn. And people look at it, they understand what you do, they understand the services you provide, they can see we call this social proof. Okay, social proof. So something to think about, your mindset to creating content online. Is it really just for yourself, or you are looking at, say, leveraging on technology to help your customers, and you save time in doing that, in leveraging on technology. Many of you will be very familiar with SWOT analysis, but I want to share with you how I use it as well and how you can look at SWOT analysis. So strengths, what are some questions you can ask yourself is not only your network, right, but what do people see as your strengths? Okay, so list them down. You might need some time after the webinar to do this activity. So list out all these things. You might need to speak to people who know you recently, people who know you for a long time. Try not to only talk to people who know you recently. Try to also talk to people who have known you for many years, 3, 5, 10 years. And what values and ethics sets you apart from your peers? Like I mentioned to you, for me, I enjoy teaching, I enjoy sharing, but more than that, I want to help people who may not be able to kind of join me at my workshops as well, right? I want to explain certain concepts. I want to break down myths, misconceptions, maybe even some rumors about social media or about digital marketing. All of us have weaknesses. It's good to list them down. You can ask people as well, right? Most of us who are good at closing, we might not be very good at our branding, our marketing. Okay, so some people, maybe you're good at marketing, you're just not as good in closing, in follow-up, right? So what are some of these negative habits that you can list out and look at closely after this activity? What do other people see, okay, as your weakness? Where can you improve, right? What are you afraid to do or most likely to avoid? So these are some questions that you can ask yourself. And I'm going to share it with you later how I use it at my own agency and, how we could differentiate ourselves when we first started out in 2016. Opportunities. Are there new products in your industry? Are there new ways to acquire leads and customers? There are many ways. And if you're not leveraging on it yet, it's an opportunity for you to get started. Okay, what are some things you can do differently from your peers? Say more than 50% are not showing up online yet, and you do it, you are already different. Okay. Is there a new technology in your industry that can help you in your work? I would like to say that you can look at your strengths and ask yourself if they open up any opportunities. For me, my strength is creating and writing curriculums, and I update my curriculums very quickly, and I respond to the needs of my clients and the industry very quickly. And that is my strength. Even if you compare it with IHLs like Institute for Higher Learning, like polytechnics, universities, right? So that is my strength, and this open up opportunities as well. And look at your weakness, ask if it could open up opportunities if you eliminate these weaknesses as well. External factors that could affect you. A lot of us in the training space, maybe even in financial advisory, we never would have thought that there's something that could have stopped us from meeting one another. Like for me would be to conduct face-to-face workshops, right? So we have to jump online. It's easy for me, but I know that a lot of trainers actually struggle with this. So how can you look at these threats and how can you have a defense mechanism to protect you from these things that may happen? It may be very soon. You might think that, oh, finally we're out of COVID, right? But you may never know what will happen, right? Have defense mechanism, have your digital brand out on social media. Customers who are very savvy, they prefer to maybe even buy their own financial products, invest their own money, ETFs, right? So where do you come in? How do you differentiate yourself such that they are more at ease working with you, prefer to work with you than doing it themselves? Okay, so these are some things to think about when it comes to threats. Now, I share with you how I use it when I first started a little bit more actively in 2016, when my competitor were IHLs, polytechnics, universities at that point of time were still not doing as much digital marketing courses, but by COVID, they were all doing digital marketing courses and there were much more funding. I look at their weaknesses as well. So you can do SWOT analysis on competitors externally, not only internally. So when I did this for IHLs, polytechnics especially, I said that, they are non-practitioners who are teaching these curriculums. They only run 4 workshops a year. So how can I turn this into my strengths? I tell people that I'm a practitioner. I run certain campaigns and I share all these live case studies. I ask participants for reviews and they share openly on Facebook, especially at that point of time. We were doing a lot of Facebook reviews, but nowadays we ask for more Google reviews than Facebook reviews. And I turn this into my strength by running workshops every single month. And when participants come to me and they tell me like, oh, I was looking at this workshop, but then they didn't have it, in this month that I wanted, or next month, it was only the following month, something like that. So they came to me so I could position myself when I understood the weaknesses of my competitors. Okay, and they are slow to react to changes. So when, say, for example, even recently, right, ChatGPT. So we could roll out very quickly AI courses. So something to think about, even with SWOT analysis, you could use it to position yourself differently. UVP, what's your unique value proposition? I would say that the big question is really, why should they choose you? Why should your customers choose you? Use simple language to reach out to appeal to your audiences. Define clearly what you offer, okay, and explain how you relieve a certain pain point for people, your customers. You can address myths, rumors, misconceptions as well. So these are some things to consider. Okay, Also, your UVP, your unique value proposition, should be easy for your audience to understand. Should be easy for you to remember. And it should sound very natural. It shouldn't be bombastic words such as very difficult for people to understand or just doesn't come out naturally. And it should be verifiable. So if you say that you are something, but it is not very verifiable online, they can't see that, oh, you are really sharing all these things online, you are doing this and that, then it's not verifiable. We call this social proof. Right. So today, even last time, but especially after COVID, right? If you have no social proof, it's not good news. It's not good news for anyone, any business. It's not good news at all. So most importantly, the value proposition is not about you, it's about your customers as well. You can match your SWOT. So you could match strengths and opportunities and look at that as something that you need to take immediate action. Okay, be aggressive. That should be top priority. Look at your weakness and threats and work on what are some things you need to improve on. You could also, besides matching, you could convert weaknesses into strengths. That's something that you can work on in the next 6 to 12 months, right? Tiny habits, atomic habits. Read these books to help you understand how we can build better habits. Threats into opportunities. You could convert threats into opportunities as well. Say, for example, many people are already doing face-to-face. If I offer or online and I cater to a certain group of people who are very busy, evening classes, right? I could turn threats into opportunities for me as well. How will you pick a social media platform? I just want to ask very quickly in the Zoom chat, if you can share with me, what are some of the qualifying questions you will ask yourself before you decide on a social media platform? Okay, I actually added TikTok because I know a lot of people are looking at TikTok these days. I think I have my stand to it and I can share with you more, especially if you attend a workshop, we can have a deeper conversations on TikTok. But Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, I would say that these are very relevant platforms for you to show up on. So let me share that. What are some other questions, okay? Who are your customers? You must be able to describe male, female. Can't be both. Okay, there should be a primary and a secondary customer persona audience. Young or old, you must be able to answer this as well. Okay, there are many other questions, but I'm just giving you this like very clear-cut ones that you must be able to quickly identify and answer who your customers are. And if anyone asks you, who are your customers? Who can I refer to you? You must be able to explain and to describe very quickly. Where are your customers hanging out on, which is a point that Elaine brought up as well. So if my customers are hanging out on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram, I will look at how many percentage of them are very active on these platforms, and I will use that. I will show up on that platform more than others. Okay, what are your content strengths? So some of you may not be video, some of you are. Your strength is video, then you need to leverage on your strengths. Okay, so that's something to consider as well. If your strength is writing articles, anybody, you're good at writing articles. For me, I'm all right. I wouldn't say that I'm good at it. I'm better at designing. Okay, so because my background is actually web designing, so I have a background in design. So I prefer to kind of look at what I've learned and convert it to an infographic, some form of a visual content. And I like to use that to summarize what I've learned or what I would like to communicate with people. Videos as well. Yeah, creating short form videos. Of course, designing is always easier than short form videos, yeah? Because you need to edit them. And are you able to create this content to show up regularly? Something to think about. And is the social media platform growing? So why I want to say that this is a qualifying question as well, because for those of you who said Facebook, the poll that we did at the start of the webinar, I want to be very honest with you. If you are already on Facebook, you have a certain following, that's good. If you're just starting out and you're going to choose Facebook, the platform is not exactly growing. So it has stagnant, right? So for you, if you want to start on Facebook, you must think of certain strategies and you need a paid advertising budget, no matter whether it's Facebook, Instagram, you need a paid advertising budget. But for Facebook, you need a very active budget to be showing certain content out there every single day, like at least a $10 to $20 budget to be able to grow. All right. And you must add value. Okay. So are people creating content on the platform? That's also very important. Content strategies for differentiation. I have 4 things to talk about. One is what I call the content Venn diagram. So content Venn diagram is what you want to make, but you also have to ask yourself what your customers want. What are some questions your customers are asking? Asking means FAQ, frequently asked questions, right? And you try to make something in the middle. There are tools that will tell you what are the frequently asked questions on Google. They summarize it for you. In my previous workshops with financial practitioners, right? These are some of the brainstorming questions that we came up with after our research. So you will be surprised, but honestly, people are asking these questions. If you think back to the marketing funnel that we just talked about, how can people know you, like you, trust you, and buy from you? You need to move them through the funnel. You need more content to help people to know you. So how does insurance work? What insurance do I need? Why is insurance necessary? Can insurance be paid by credit card? Right? If you can answer these questions, then people will find like, hey, these are questions that I'm asking. And I know you. I got to know you because you understood what kind of content would create awareness for you. What is your objective? Your objective is either to know you, to like you, to trust you. So like and trust might be a testimonial that is written or a video. Video is very powerful. So there is a quote. One of my favorite quotes from Albert Einstein is, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Okay, so if you're expecting marketing to be easier for you, client acquisition to be different for you, quality of leads to be different for you in 2024, okay, do something different. Don't do the same thing and expect a different result. We need to think about how we want to do marketing differently. In fact, some contents that I found interesting online, even explaining simple concepts like compound interest, starting early, the rule of 72, right? Things like that. Very simple concepts. Even CPF does all these visuals and infographics. I know it's an investment, so try to think whether you can collaborate. I know that you have different like groups and agencies, right? Ask yourself whether you can kind of pool your resources together to collaborated effort in putting out these contents. If 4 people, each person take 1 week, then you can show up 4 times a month already. But if you want to do once every 2 weeks, it's also possible. Each person take 1 week and then one person be the moderator. Now, then you might ask me, wow, Charmaine, put so much effort into all this content. Will people really be interested and will they engage me or not? Firstly, you must understand, there are 3 types of customers online. The first group, right, is they want to learn everything, but they do nothing about it. The second group is they want to learn everything and they want to DIY, right? We have this platform called Compare First. People today can compare and they buy themselves. And the third group of people is they want to learn everything, but they want to engage you. They want to work with you. So this is the group of customers. Even for myself, when I publish so much content on Instagram, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, this is the group of customers that I'm looking for. I'm not looking for the people who want to learn everything but do nothing, or they want to learn everything but they want to do it themselves. But because they will still come to me, right? So if I put out content, I help these 2 people, but I attract the third group of people, which is my best group of customers. So describe your best group of customers. Look at your past 12 months. Which are the customers that seem to be coming to you and it's easier for you to close. You enjoy working with them. A buyer's journey on the internet is almost like a funnel. Awareness, consideration, and decision. How do I use it for myself? So I explained to you some things that I do that I don't see other training providers do. Number 1, I publish my course content out. A lot of them, they will ask you to put in your emails to download the brochure, right? General Assembly does it. Many others as well do it. Number 2, I put my course fee out there. I put my trainer profile out there. A lot of training providers do not publish their trainer profile. So I publish my trainer profile. Even if I have a assistant trainer, I will publish their profile together, the 2 trainer profiles on one course. Number 4, I look at location. One of my participants in 2016 told me, hey, your course so good, but can you look for a better venue? And that was when I realized that venue matters to my customers. And we shifted our office from Lavender to Raffles Place. So you might think that it's a very small change, right? Red, green line does matter, and people do look and value the venue as well. Regular schedules, I mentioned to you earlier, IHLs only do 4 times a year. So I did it every single month. And I publish videos in each course. So if I'm going to teach about email marketing, I will have a few minutes, a short form video on how benefits of email marketing. Sometimes if I have, which I usually have for each different digital marketing topic, is a webinar video. So I would have conducted some form of a webinar. I will edit it to my YouTube channel, embed it back to my website, or embed it back to my PTX or Eventbrite event page. I invest in the visuals, the looks of my website. I also am very active on social media. A lot of training providers who teach social media, who teach digital marketing, they are not active on these platforms at all. So what are they teaching? Testimonials, I embed them to my website. This is also something that one participant feedback in 2016. They said, I read your testimonials. Your testimonials are very genuine. That's why I decided to sign up for your course. So that was when I knew how important it was. And I went to screenshot all the testimonials we received or reviews on Facebook, and we embed it back to our website. Pay attention to these things and ask yourself, how can you share to help people move from awareness to consideration to decision stage? Who you are, what you do, how can you help them? What are their pain points? Sometimes someone said, right, you don't know what you don't know. So sometimes they have a pain point, but they don't know. But if you describe it, or you have a customer describe it as a form of testimonial sharing, that helps people to understand. Awareness would mostly be the very high volume type of content. That means a lot of people are asking about this day in and out, every single week, every single month, right? Why do I need insurance? Why is it important? Okay, then you have monthly webinars once a month, types of insurance, savings plans, how they decide. So how can you move people through these 3 stages? Engaging with your audience more meaningfully. I'm going to share with you a concept. Anyone heard of Gary V before? Gary Vaynerchuk. So we are all struggling with low engagement on social media. Those of you who said that you are active on social media, are you struggling with low engagements? Actually, there are many reasons, but I'll share with you the 2 main reasons, okay? The first reason is, imagine if you and your friend go out for lunch every Wednesday. Right? Let's say you post once a week on social media. Every Wednesday, you are the only one who talk during the lunch, and your friend is the one who listens. What is going to happen to this friendship? Social media, right? We cannot just look at it as a one-way street. We need to be engaging. We ask them for their thoughts. We poll, we quiz them with IG stories, IG stickers. LinkedIn also has poll, right? YouTube also has some form of a poll. Number 2 is you are not actually active on social media. So what I mean by that is Gary Vee actually said that it's a $1.80 strategy. It says, why he calls it this is because he says leaving your 2 cents. Okay, so he coined this term 180 strategy, but really is leaving meaningful comments, not about yourself. Ask instead of telling your audience. That's also another thing that you can do with your content so that you can get engagements, comments, feedback from them. Testimonials, very important. Ask. So for me, whenever I ask, I get testimonials. If I don't ask, I don't get it. So these are my past participants who left me very, very, very generous LinkedIn recommendations. So nowadays, I don't do Facebook reviews as much. I usually ask them to leave me a LinkedIn recommendation or a Google review. So a lot of them have left me LinkedIn recommendations, even for my assistant trainers that I work with in other training organizations. They have left me testimonials as well. So the problem most business owners face is where and how to start with social media and digital marketing. Right? They are like not sure where to start. They start and then they don't get success. But the success is just there, Look at this guy digging the goal. It's almost there. He's almost there. But he couldn't reach it because he didn't know how much deeper and how to go about it digging. He might not have the right shovels and tools to dig. So the question is, why do you think a person gives up when they're digging for gold? Maybe they have the wrong equipment. Maybe they don't know which direction. It was on the right, they dig the left. Make mistakes, fail fast. Make mistakes is fine, just don't make mistakes that people have made before. If you can learn and to avoid these mistakes, you can make new mistakes, you learn from new mistakes. Another quote I really like is from Warren Buffett. Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. If you look at people who have very strong personal brand online, it's not because they did it overnight. They have been investing in their personal brand for a long time. Usually it takes 2 to 3 years. If you're very confident in the first year, people start paying attention already. You might ask this question, when is the next best time to plant a tree? It's 10 years ago, right? And the next best time is today.
Thank you for watching this video, and I would like to take this opportunity to share with you that we have a 2 days IVF funded program. It is funded for 2 years as of now. It is Skills Future Credit eligible, and these are the 5 big main modules that we are covering in our 2 days IVF funded program called Effective Customer Engagement Strategies for Financial Practitioners in the Era of Digital Disruption. These 5 main topics is going to talk about your digital marketing and content marketing strategy, how you can show up meaningfully online, such as Instagram platforms, how can you set up an offer, a landing page, and your email marketing strategy. All these three things, when integrated together, social media, landing pages, and email marketing, is going to help and uplift, elevate your digital marketing presence and customer engagement strategies online. I'm going to share with you the current course fee is at $1,500. And if you have any other questions, feel free to email and inquire with us. I'm going to add our email or contact details in the description below so that you can get connected with us about our upcoming public runs, or you can inquire about our private runs. We are focused on running private runs, so if you have 15 packs, do reach out to us. If you are interested in a public run, every single year we have about 4 public runs for this program together with Falco Academy. But if there are demands, for example, you have a group of 6 or 8 people, you can let us know and we can arrange for a public run. Thank you so much for watching this video. If this video has been helpful, do remember to like, do share it with your friends, and I look forward to seeing you at my next video and definitely at my next workshop.